Hello, do you know that having security at the entrance of your site and other locations on site does not guarantee that your materials are completely safe uh, in terms of material delivery and theft, because there could be collusion between the security and those that want to cut away those materials from site. So, as a project manager, it is your responsibility to make sure that uh, you have other means of checking that these materials are utilized properly to avoid excessive waste, and that these materials are delivered completely without uh, without any collusion, and at the same time there are no thefts at a very larger magnitude on site. And what you need to do is for you to prepare a spreadsheet, and after getting these three informations on site, you're getting the progress that has been done in terms of quantity, volume of concrete that has been casted, uh, and square areas of plastering that have been done, and number of square areas of blocks that have been plastered. Then you get what the stock is on site. You get the quantity procured from the storekeeper or the procurement department. Then you can now go about doing your analysis. And first, you need to make it more simpler, since Excel is your friend. You have the soft copy of the bill, and this you create a column for the progress of work done, which is this one that I've highlighted. As you can see, we have in the bill a 600 cubic meter to be done for isolated column and 300 for beam. We've done 200. These are the progress that have been measured from site, 200 and 100. Then for external, for lintel beam, we have 80 to be done on the project, while 20 has been done. For block work, we have 10,500 and 6,000 have been done. Then plastering, we have a 5,000 that have been done as against 10,000, 2,000 as against 6,000, 4,000 as against 8,000. So, and this column, this H column, has been linked to my analysis sheet, which is the material control sheet. The material control sheet, where I have the description column describing those items that I am reviewing in terms of knowing what is going on site. I have the concrete, two types of concrete. I have the lintel concrete, and why am I having two types of concrete? Because the ratio of cement are not the same. The ratio for lintel concrete is a 5 bag, that is 250 kg, and for the structural concrete, which is structural members, beam and column, is a 300 kg. So that's why I'm having two different. Normally, if they are all of the same grade of concrete, it would have been in one cell. Then uh, for the ratio of consumption, that is the ratio of aggregates in a cubic meter of concrete, here is a 1.11. Why? For the stone dust and the river sand, is because it is a ratio of half to half. You have 0.37, 0.37. If it is just one type of sand that is expected you use, this ratio is going to be 740 as against this 0.37. Then now for the block, because block is measured in square meter, and for you to lay the blocks, it's not expected of you to fill the hole, making the block solid. You're just putting your mortar on the edges, where leaving the hollow section, and then another block will be laid on it. So for you now to determine the mortar, the volume of mortar that you're supposed to use, for each block, you have to now do a calculation. And that is what I did here. I have a 450 by 20, which is the thickness of the edges of the block, those edges of the block between the holes. Then another 20, which is the thickness of the mortar that another block is coming to rest on it, by 2, which is the two face stretcher face, by 7. We have seven joints to fill. Then the header area, I have 0.27, which I'm going to illustrate with a sketch for us to know what this calculation is. 0.27 by 0.00 by 20 by 20 by 3 by 7. Then the joint between the blocks is 0.25 by 0.25 by 2 by 7. And to quickly help us understand this, I will sketch a block. For us to better understand this, so that we'll all be carried along. I have this block. I have another block. I have another block. So what I was saying in essence is, between this stretch to this stretch is a 450, while this stretch to this stretch is a 225. So I'm taking 450 by this thickness, 20 by the thickness of the mortar, which is 20 by 2, this side and this side. Then I'm taking this remaining portion by 3, 21 by 210 by 20 by 20 by 3 by 7. And how did I get the 7? How did I get the 7? I will sketch a square meter of a block for us to have an idea. I'll sketch a square meter of a block for us to have an idea of what how did I arrive at the 7 I am multiplying with. I have so as you can see, normally it's supposed to be 10 blocks in 1 square meter. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 2 half. That is 6, 7, 8, 9, and these 2 half, making 10. So I'm going to lay my mortar here. That is here and here, and these 2 areas to complete the 10 blocks. So I'm laying mortar here 1, I'm laying mortar here 2, I'm laying mortar here 3, I'm laying mortar 4, 5, then with this 2 half, then I'm laying in this 2 half to drop the 2 half, making 7. So, and the joints are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So these are the joints I'm going to fill in between blocks. Why I'm going to lay this 1, 2, 3, 4, So these are the areas I'm going to put mortar, the bed I'm going to lay the block on top. So the only thing I need to consider now is these gaps where the colors are not filled. So it's either I'm taking it on the joint, which is I'm going to now 225 plus 20 to make up this length. So I'll come back to this. I'll come back to this area now. I will now change the header to, instead of 225, will now be 5 245 to account for that. Then I can now copy, bring it here. So now I have converted the volume of mortar that are needed to lay the 6,000 block is 66 cubic meter. While the plastering is, you convert the square meter by multiplying by the thickness of the plaster, which is 12 mm and 15 mm. And you can see here it's already 15 mm multiplied by the square area. And this is 12 mm multiplied by the square area for the internal plastering. So you have your ratio of cement in a cubic meter. You have your ratio of quarry dust. You have your ratio of quarry dust to a cubic meter, which you now have the volume of sand, because if I am using, then it has to be 50-50. If I'm using the two, it has to be 50-50. So now I have the volume of the tonnage of my cement, which is it's 150 that I'm supposed to use for these activities that I've done on site. For the granite, for the cubic meter I've casted, for 320 cubic meter, I'm supposed to use 55 cubic tons of granite, excluding waste. Then for the sand, I'm supposed to use 199 tons. The two area, 199, 199, and this. So there's a problem here. So this one now I'm going to multiply by 12, which I have already done. This multiply by zero. Zero is supposed to be here, and 0 is supposed to be here. So now I've gotten the tonnage for sand and the tonnage for cement. They are here. And now I am adding, because you cannot rule out the fact that there's going to be some waste during the cost of casting, transporting, and all. So there's a 5% waste allowed, which is for this 450 cubic meter I casted, I am supposed to waste. Allowable waste is supposed to be 7.5 cubic meter. For the tonnage of granite, I'm supposed to waste 17 tons. For sand, I am supposed to waste 10 tons. I'm supposed to waste 29, almost 30 tons here for the river sand. So now what I needed now, remember I said we needed to know what we have purchased, which by record of what we have purchased, we've purchased cement 314 tons for the month in review. We have purchased granite 670 tons. We have purchased quarry dust 689 tons. We have purchased river sand 680 tons. So now the next thing is to get our stock, which usually you have a stock sheet where every month the storekeeper gives you all the stock sheet. all the materials in stock, which will itemize. But for the purpose of this discussion, we are centering on cement, granite, and quarry dust with river sand. So we have it's 160 tons stock on site. We have a 300 stock of granite. Then we have a 500 for quarry dust and 500 for river sand. So and this has been linked to my sheet, top sheet, which is 160, 300, 500, 500. Then now it is you now get the difference between the purchase and the stock, which is 154, meaning that for the job you have done, you were expected to use 154 tons of sand, but you actually used, including waste, you used 157. So meaning that you were able to minimize the waste, and you're able to minimize your waste. Rather than 7.5 tons, you use 3.6. So it is a 3% waste that you recorded in cement. Then for granite, you were supposed to use, what you were supposed to consume was 370 tons, and you succeeded in consuming 373. You were supposed to, yes, you 370 tons, you have succeeded in consuming 373 tons, including waste. So you were able to only waste 3.3 tons, which is 4%, as against the 7%. Then for stone doors, you were supposed to use the total. You're supposed to use 2.209 tons, and you succeeded in using 289. This will now give you red alert that something is wrong. You're supposed to use 209 tons, 210 tons, and you're using 289. It means there is 90 ton missing here, and this cannot just be waste. This cannot just be waste. It's either delivery was not completely done, or they stole the material out of the site. Then this area, you are supposed to use 229 tons, and you succeeded in using 180. So and now you have you are having some savings of 49. Two things for these two area is either the stock was not properly taken, that is why you getting this alarm, which is either you ask them to go back and retake the stock, and if they take the stock properly and you're still getting this alarming figure, meaning that something is wrong. You needed to call the production manager, call the security, and ask they should give you a report on what actually went wrong. And for this place also, two things are wrong. It's either maybe the stocks were not taken properly, or the ratio of the sand is not respected properly. Because if it is respected properly, you don't need to have this kind of 49 tons savings. So in these two, there are problems. Then immediately you know that there is problem, you can just call. So as you can see, the the the, the spreadsheet is so simple, clearly easy to understand. These are your ratios for granite consumption. These are your ratio for sand consumption. These are your ratio for sand consumption. These are ratios for concrete. These are ratio for cement. Then, like I said, you're converting the volume of the 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 volume of the blocks you needed to lay, that you're laying, the volume of mortar you use in laying the block into cubic meter. Then you can now get what you can now use it to apply on the ratios to get what each of the constituent of the material is. Then for plastering, it's just multiplying by the thickness to convert it to cubic meter, which you also did here. So if this video has given us a clear idea on how to mitigate losses on site, please, you like my video, subscribes, share it, and encourage me for more expose. Bye bye for now.